Hey guys, this is Miss Arlequin, and in this lesson video we are going to be learning some new vocabulary words that come from our next story, The Cask of Amontillado. So please make sure you have the vocabulary sheet out in front of you so you can use it as you follow along to the lesson video. Alright, so the first step is to look at each of our new words, and without looking at the definitions, we're going to rate our prior knowledge of these words. Have we seen or heard them before? Do we know what they mean? So you're going to circle a 1 if you've never seen or heard the word before, brand new. 2, you've seen or heard it before, but you're not quite sure what it means. 3, you know this word and you know what it means. You can give the definition. 4, you are an expert. You know the word, you can define it, you can use it in sentences. You use it in your vocabulary when you're speaking with people. This is easy. All right, our first word is preclude. Second, impunity. Third, accost. Fourth, explicit. And our fifth word is implore. All right, so our first word is preclude. Preclude is a verb. So when you are precluding something, it means you are trying to prevent it or to make it impossible to happen. Failing grades preclude the possibility of playing in Friday's basketball game. Failing grades prevent the possibility, or they make it impossible for that to happen. Our next word is impunity. Impunity is a noun. So it's one of those nouns that is an idea, because impunity is when you have freedom from punishment, harm, or bad consequences. So usually you give somebody impunity. No one here knew him, so he thought he could lie with impunity. He thought he could lie with freedom without any consequence. There wasn't going to be anything to stop him from lying. He had impunity. Okay, our next word is accost. Accost is a verb. So it is an action word. When you are accosting somebody, you're approaching and speaking to them in a really aggressive manner. So accosting somebody could be physical, but it could also be verbal. The beggars accost and scare the shoppers. Okay, our next word is explicit. Explicit is an adjective. If you describe something or someone as being explicit, they are definitely stating something or very clearly expressing something. So a person can say something in an explicit way. So it can even be an adverb, explicitly, or the object can be explicit. Anything, again, that is very obvious, clearly stated. Ms. Arlequin gave explicit instructions. So really, in this context, you can even think of explicit as being very clear and specific. Ms. Arlequin gave explicit instructions for each stage of the assignment, so everyone knew what to do. All right, and our final word is implore. Implore is a verb. When you implore somebody, you are asking them very earnestly, begging them, right? When you're being earnest, it's with a lot of enthusiasm, like you're really into what you're doing. Some parents implore their children to study, going so far as to even use bribery. All right, so it is now time to apply your new vocabulary words to your own writing. So for each vocabulary word, you're going to write at least one sentence. Remember that when you write vocabulary sentences, they have to contain context clues. So you want to think about the 5 W's. And you want to make sure that you use the word properly. So you're using verbs as verbs, you're using adjectives as adjectives, and so on. Remember that you can receive extra credit in the grading of this assignment if you go for 2 sentences per word. And you also can get Class Dojo points if you use other previous vocabulary words in your sentences. Just be careful that you don't go too overboard. You don't want your sentence to be 5 or 6 different vocabulary words. You'll start to sound like you're trying too hard. It'll become a vocabulary soup. Make sure you bring this worksheet to class tomorrow so that we can go over it and use our vocabulary words in another activity.